everything that you ever worked on. And so you die and die and I the fuck I catch up for. Well, why waited for so long to be a part of someone, to be a part of something, to make the best of every fucking thing. Well, what that birthday night? Well, went to went the right line. Well, we got there forever. We get there forever, just you and me. We get there forever, just you and me.
Greetings and salutation, League of Legends players and LOL esports fans, and welcome to the next level with Sodaron. I am Sodaron, the wizard of LOL esports, here to bring you another exciting episode of the next level with Sodaron. Now, today we're taking a look at Swiss Stage Round 1 Gen.G versus WBG. Now, tragically, I already did this once, but I messed up the sound. I messed up and I had YouTube turned up too high. And I'm trying to really fix my microphone sound settings because it's been bothering me. And that's some of the reason if you watch this and you're a Sodaron fan, I feel like I've got some lag or something when I'm talking, and it's because I'm always worried about, well, am I talking too loud? Am I not talking loud enough? I'm trying to balance out my sound. And when I listen to it, I've got my past VODs and stuff. Like, there's really important information there. And if you can really listen to it, you will get to the next level and you'll hear high level professional macro. But the problem is, I could not get the technical stuff ironed out. And now I'm starting to feel more confident now because I think I finally got the microphone thing figured out. Unfortunately, I don't have the money for an expensive XLR mic. You know, until I start making money, I've had numerous graphic designers reach out to me. Oh, please pay me $100 and you'll have Twitch overlays and your stream will look much better. Well, I make my own stuff. Like, I make this. I'm sure I could make Twitch overlays if I wanted to. Now, if I had subscriptions and people were paying me money, I could see something completely different. Just like I run on a 2019 HP $800 machine with a 1650 graphics GTX graphics card, but I only do League of Legends, and it seems like it renders video pretty quickly if I need to. It seems like my webcam's a little fuzzy, but you know, someday if I'm making money, I will buy better equipment. I would like to get a new PC someday. I would like to get a soundboard or a mixer board with a XLR microphone. I used to do music and had a band, and I used to do recording, and I had a Shure 57, so I know Shure makes very good microphones. If I had a mixer board, I could probably use it. It would be a very good microphone, but most of you probably can't tell, but I have, since I've done music, and I'm a music, used to be professional when I was younger, right? I had a band, I had demos, I did recording, played guitar and clarinet since I was a little kid. I have the ears for music and sound quality, and there was just a slight distortion in my voice that really bugged me and could get some type of fuzz, and it would just really drive me nuts. And even when I'm doing these VODs, like, I couldn't figure out, well, what am I doing wrong? Because when you do the sound stuff, unfortunately, there's no guide on the internet where there's a magic number that, hey, Sodaron, put your sound setting on this sound on 70 and you'll sound amazing. There's a lot of technical stuff you have to figure out, and maybe if you've got a brother or like some type of sibling or a dad or somebody or cousin or best friend that can help you with this stuff and set it up for you, yeah, that would be great. But unfortunately, Sodaron is a wizard and has to do everything himself. I've got to produce this show. I got to stay on top of all of the, I'm watching all the games more than once, usually taking notes. I've got my draft book here that I've been collecting. I would like to watch the HLE FlyQuest series, even though I know what the result's going to be. I highly doubt that that HLE would lose this game unless FlyQuest does some crazy stuff with some type of draft that nobody knows about. And I watched the first game of DK, but unfortunately, my internet went out last night, or it didn't go out, but I was trying to stream this VOD, and you know, I put a time on my Twitter account or X account, and then I go to stream it, and my upload speed wouldn't. It was in the red on OBS, and my connection wasn't good enough on the upload end. I called technical support. They say it's fine on our end, and you needed a technician to come out, and it won't be until Saturday. So then they say, well, it may be the modem, and I keep saying, well, I've got the download speed, and my speed would go to what it was supposed to be and then go way down to like 3 or 5 megabits per second on the upload speed. And they kept saying, no, 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 it's on your end. So I schedule that, and I go to try to stream this 3 or 4 times. I don't like when I put something on X and I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to do it at 8 o'clock. And then I go at 8 o'clock and I don't show up. And so then I go again and go, well, I'll do it at 10:30. I don't show up. I'm trying to stream it on here and I can't get the upload speed. So I wake up today and try it again, and it worked just fine. But unfortunately, I didn't test the VOD out and see that, oh, well, and one reason I do that is my power likes to go out. I got a 15-year-old dog that needs special attention to go outside a good bit and use the bathroom a good bit. So if I was streaming this live and I got people sitting there watching it, I could do it live when I'm playing the game. I could do it live, but I'm also trying to do, this is a show, I'm trying to do VODs. If I had more chat to come interact, I would do it that way. But because my dog, the power likes to go, it hasn't lately, but there's a good bit, like during the summer, the power like to go out, and try doing a 3 hour long stream, and then the power goes out and it's not saved, or you want to upload it to YouTube, but you can't because it's broken up into sections. So I do it the way I do it. Some of the reason, again, I wasn't confident enough with my sound setting, but I think I got this figured out now. So anyways, I had 3 pages of notes on this game, but in my mind, I should be able to remember what was going on in this. This was a game where, again, talking about GEN.G versus WBG, GEN.G take the Smolders, so then 2 of the counters to Smolder is Poppy and Jax, so WBG draft the Poppy and the Jax, but it doesn't work out too well for them because you could play jungle Poppy, you could play support Poppy, you could play top Poppy. I picked her in my pick'ems as like the most flex champion, but Smolder, you can also flex him top, mid, or AD. I saw not Lucid aiming play Smolder in the first game today in DK. And the problem is it goes into what, unfortunately I had a lot of information I gave you in my VOD yesterday. So you can go watch it. I put it on Twitch. I doubt I'll upload it on YouTube because the casters are talking over me. And some of it is it just took me hours to sit here and balance it out. Like I said, there's no magic number where somebody can go, Sodaron, set this setting on 40, and you put this one on 50 and 80, and ta-da, you got a perfect stream. It doesn't work that way. You have to sit here and work through it and iron it out yourself and balance it out. And I think I finally got it there. And one of the things was my microphone. I didn't know you could turn the gain just off. And so I had the gain up really high, and then throughout the summer, I would just casually start turning it down a little bit more. So like 2 days ago, I go to mess with my stream and record, and I turned the gain all the way down, and then I realized, oh, my microphone still works. I figured it wouldn't work with no gain. So GEN.G take the Smolder in this game, and you have to close the game out in 20 or 30 minute window. If you let Smolder go on 35, 40, 50 minutes, he's more than likely going to win, especially if you get the Dragon Soul and you get the Elder Dragon on top of that. And that's what happens in this game. GEN.G get the Dragon Soul. They're on the point where I think the Elder Dragon was up, so if they got that, the game would have definitely been closed out. But WBG looked really good in this game, except there's a few things going on. Um, Let me think. Breathe. He should have, in my opinion, why didn't he take a Zonya's Hourglass second? He took a Zonya's Hourglass fourth, and there's some fights where if he had a Zonya's, I think this might have turned the team fights around because he would have survived and been able to just hang on a second. You know, Zonya's is probably the most OP'd item in the game. I think even there's a lot more champions you could play it on that don't even make sense because they don't scale off AP, but the stasis is the most important thing. One of the things that Guma Yushi used last year and the year before that when they were world champions and they made it to the finals, Guma was really big on using the stopwatch in team fights because he's bad about being caught out and it would save him. And so now it's like, well, you've got Kaiser and you've got maybe Smolder, and that's about it that scale off the Zonya's Hourglass. So then you've got Zhao making some super renegade plays in this game, and it looked like there was some miscommunication going on in between WBG where I'm pretty sure Zhao the shot caller, and you may not want your mid laner to be the shot caller. You may want your support, your jungler to be shot caller. Unfortunately, now Tarzan is one of my favorite junglers. That's why, again, where I'm doing WBG stuff, most of my content I've done all summer was GEN.G, T1. I did a little bit of WBG, and I did some KT, and I like DK, and I try to do all the G2 games I can do. I did a great G2 VOD on my channel, but unfortunately, again, my sound may be unlistenable to you guys that are really picky. I mean, it's really good content. If you listen to what I say, you're just going to have to sit there and bear that maybe there's some type of distortion going on, but I think we got this figured out today. So hopefully here going forward now, I can be more confident. You know, I'm sitting here talking now and I feel much more confident. So Zhao makes some crazy renegade plays in this game 2 or 3 times where I think he knows that you have to get the Smolder or close the game out in 20 or 30 minutes. Plus, I think Lucian falls off after 20 or 30 minutes. And he makes some disengages with the calling. And at one point, again, WBG have a 5K gold lead, I think at 30 minutes. And they start throwing the game because there was a couple very questionable plays from Zhao, a couple questionable plays from Breathe in this game. Again, he took Sundered Sky second. You know, you take the Trinity Force first, Sundered Sky second, and then Sterix Gauge and Zonya's Hourglass fourth. I think I've seen Ben take the Zonya Hourglass second and maybe Owner, but I've seen other players take the Zonya second. I think maybe it would have been a much better choice in this game, and WBG were close to where they could have won this game. But then they just go too long without closing the game. They start making a few plays again. Rizal, just throws the game. We'll look at it when we get into the game. And they lose to GEN.G. And after 35, 40 minutes, I mean, it's a long game. I think it's a 45-minute long game. But WBG looked good in this. They can lane or outlane GEN.G. So I think that WBG is a sleeper pick. I don't know if they'll get their things ironed out in this tournament. I think, you know, your shot caller should be Tarzan, but he doesn't speak fluent Chinese, so there's a big problem. So we'll go ahead and get into the game. Okay, I had to make another cup of tea. So let's go ahead and get in the draft here. Also, I made you a little card that I keep talking about, but made this little card. I don't know if this will work on this or not. I don't know if you see this. I'm trying to use my Epic pen on this, but I don't know if it works. It probably just works on my main screen. But you got the flash. Very important. I keep this on my desk here. So whenever I'm playing the game, I know the cooldown timers because that's what you do is you make your plays around vision. Also, if you're watching this for the first time, who is Sodaron? Well, I played Warcraft 3 since the beta which League of Legends is just a clone of it. And eventually, during Warcraft 3, came along a custom map called Dota Defense of the Ancients. And then came out Dota All Stars. And I was never big on Dota. I thought it was really lame because Warcraft 3 was so complicated. You're playing 3 champions at one time. You're jungling at the same time. You're controlling other units, and there's 3 different tech tiers you have to do. There's different random items you got to get on your jungler. Normally, you do jungle in that game, which is kind of weird. And you're controlling many units. You're harvesting lumber and gold, and you're building little towns. And it's a much more complicated game. So I played that during since the beta and played the rank ladder for a very long time. And then they came out with Reforged years ago, or it was back in like 2020. And I'm very upset at Blizzard because my Warcraft 3 game that I had is unusable now because now they want you to pay another $30 for something that already cost you $50. And I could log in and show you how to play that, but this PC also doesn't have a disk drive, so I can't actually show you the game, or I would go in and show you what I'm talking about. And then before that, I played Warcraft 2 for many years, and I learned from the best player there that it's all about the same thing in League of Legends. You play based on vision. You have to go and scout out your enemy. It's a fog of war game. Warcraft 3 was a fog of war game. And so you have to scout out your enemy and you make plays around vision. So it's the same thing in this. And then besides vision, you make your plays around the cooldown timers being down. You make a gank in your bottom lane. You get flash out of the AD. Before 5 minutes is up, you come back and gank them again, and then they die. You don't try to make it all at once. So, and then their alt timers, you need to know their alt timers, and then you go around and make plays around that. But that's just, also, I worked with GAM in 2022 during the summer split when they won the finals, and which GAM's making a big name for themselves this year at Worlds. So I was trying to tell you a couple years ago that the VCS scene is not that bad. The only problem is they like to take too many fights. They clean up the fights. I don't know what it is. It's something about Vietnamese culture, but they want to show dominance and force dominance. I think more than LPL. And they will dive and take fights that you shouldn't take for no reason. And it was like a headache being an analyst for GAM because they would take all these fights that I knew not to take. And then there was a language barrier too. And so I have professional League of Legends experience. And I played this game since the end of season 2, and I could be challenger ranked every season if I want to. I'm older and I got other things, and but here at the end of the season we may sit here and grind challengers. So let's go grind to challengers. So let's go ahead in here, hopefully, because my goal is to get some type of coaching job on like a LCS team, I guess even a Brazilian team now. So let's go ahead and get in the game. First off, Gen.G takes Smolder in this game, which then Poppy, Jinx, and Jax look like they are Smolder counters. So I think that WBG might even get a little outdrafted in this game because they maybe take an unbalanced comp just to counter the Smolder. And it's you either like take Smolder or Yo or Aurora seem to be the top 3 mid laner picks, and then maybe down to Orianna. So, you know, I say it's like salsa, the way I look at the priority. I have my own system how I look at the drafts. So I look at like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, Pays has played a lot of Ziggs during the summer, so you got to take the Ziggs away, even though I don't think he's that strong anymore since they nerfed the passive. Aurora is a must ban. Aurora would counter the Rumble, which Rumble was permanently banned on the red side in the LCK, and it should have been in the LEC, but nobody pays attention to the LPL and LCK meta. Ashe seems like the first pick AD right now. She can solo lane in the top lane. And let's see, Orianna, I don't really know why the Orianna banned. Maybe she's a counter to Smolder that I don't know about. But I kind of talk about this as like being levels of temperature in salsa that you got extremely hot down to mild. So they're very worried and concerned about the zigs. Unless teams don't look at it that way, they just pick 3, but you'd think this is the most important to them, and then this is the second most important. So then I look at it like this: you get 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4. Now I talked about this in my G2 VOD that maybe I'll talk about it when I get in the game, but you have to, if you're on red side, you've got to draft a winning top lane matchup, or no, blue side, not red side. Sorry. If you're on blue side, you have to draft a winning top lane matchup because the Void Grubs are on the red side of the map. And so there's this little line I talk about. We'll draw the map. There's a little line I talk about like this, and I call this the line, and it splits the map in half horizontally. And this is red side of the map, and this is blue sides of the map. Well, the Baron Pit is on the red side of the map here. The turret is here. The blue turret is there. You have to, when you're pressuring the lanes, it means you're going over this line onto the enemy side of the map. So to take the Void Grubs, if you're on blue side, you have to have this wave crashing into the red side. You got to have lane pressure up top. And I think this is some of the reason we see the lane swaps. Now, the casters will tell you it's because of a bad bottom lane matchup. No, I think it's more about trying to get the Void Grubs and needing lane pressure in the top lane matchup and needing some type of winning top lane matchup. And then you get out drafted. You rotate your bottom lane up to the top lane to apply pressure. I don't think it's all about the bad matchup like they're trying to say. Uh-oh, I messed that up. Let me redraw this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Be nice if there was an easier way to hit these hotkeys on Epic Pen, but there's not. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know Poppy is a Smolder counter, and it's like you either take Yone or Poppy, Yone or Smolder. I've seen aiming. We've seen aiming play the Smolder in the bottom lane. 2, 2, 3, 3. And the way I look at this is you get 2 counter picks if you want. And maybe these champions have some type of synergy with each other. Another thing is the Blitzcrank. You can't allow Gen.G to have Blitzcrank and Maokai because Maokai can root them with his ultimate, and then you can rocket grab them and then knock them up, and there's probably like 2 or 3 seconds of CC where you're dead. So we get Zhaohu's Lucian, which seems to be his counter into Smolder. So we got 3 counters into Smolder. WBG's that worried about Chovy getting Smolder. They don't seem like they're worried about the Rumble. I don't know what the stats off the top of my head of the Rumble into Jax. I think Rumble would be some type of Jax counter. So Gen.G is already out drafting, or maybe Jax wins in the Rumble. But we'll take a look at the lane matchups after the draft. So you get the Blitzcrank like I was talking about. You can't let Lahins and Canyon have Maokai Blitzcrank. It has a really good synergy. Again, you got to draft a winning top lane matchup or swap your bottom lane to top lane around 4 minutes, 6 minutes. And this is a perfect game of what I keep talking about in my stream. You can't let I think this is a waste of a ban here. They're not going to take Lucian Nami, but Gen.G's so confident they don't care. Could have banned something else. Like, now they take Jinx, which is kind of weird. We haven't seen too much of Jinx. So it would be a treat to see it. And they take Ivern in this game, which Ivern and Maokai seem like it's like 50% flip on the skill matchup on who wins that matchup. But a lot of that doesn't matter in pro play, like most people think. And so Nidalee, you can't let Tarzan, you can't let the best junglers in the world have Nidalee. She's too strong. She's kind of like Maokai. She has traps that are free wards. She can heal. Maokai can heal. She has like it doesn't really have an engage for a team, but she can poke you and engage, like a gap closer type of thing. If somebody's trying to run away and they got damaged. I'm trying to think, but I think the Void Grubs are very important. Like they say in this game, the LCK, and when I do solo queue, I always take the Void Grubs. I was kind of against it because I didn't know until playing solo queue and seeing more. Also in the bottom, we get Renata Glask and Kalista, which is what seems like the strongest bottom lane matchup you can get. It's not so much Kalista by herself, it's if you have her paired with the Renata Glask. So her bailout allows Kalista to stack up more rend and survive and do more damage, and she just works very well with Kalista, and Kallista's ultimate throws somebody in and you berserk them, and then we get Ivern. And so normally, like I do on my stream here, we'll take a look at the matchups, even though I don't think there's that much data on these. So again, looking at Smolder's page here, well, we'll just go to Jax, or we'll go to Rumble first. Problem is, I don't think we'll see many games of, there's not many games on 0.18, unfortunately. I don't know why Riot, why can't you just leave it on 1.18 while the pro players are scrimming and doing solo queue until the end of Worlds? I don't get that. They do this World patch and then they already have 2 patches out changing stuff. Like they buffed Yone already, who's one of like the most OP champion at Worlds. So Rumble wins in the game. Jax, it says 2 games, or it's 50%. I'm sorry. Let's take a look back, like 1-5. Of course, he was stronger then. Guessing he's good into Jax. Because Jax probably tries to jump on top of him, and then Rumble does a bunch of damage. But it'd be nice if we could find data on this. I don't think we will. There we go. Rumble wins against, okay, maybe Jax wins. Jax is super strong. And they just buffed Jax is what's funny. What did that say? Rumble wins against, okay, so I'm guessing the Jax is the winning top lane matchup. And in this game, it's a perfect game like I talk about where you can take all the objectives off the map if you want. So Gen.G get the Rift Herald, then they get the Dragon, then they get the next Rift Herald, then they get the next Dragon. So they play it out perfectly and they rotate their bottom lane to make up for the losing lane matchup. But I don't want to make this a 4-hour long VOD. So we got Maokai into Ivern. You know, I watch other streamers do this and they condense it. I don't know how. I mean, you're missing a lot of important information. This is like a 50-50 matchup. Maokai and Ivern. Can't find the information about it. I don't think there's much Ivern on the Korean solo queue. I look at the Korean solo queue because I think it's like the pinnacle. Let me do global. I don't see Ivern. Oh, well, I know it's like 50-50. So Smolder into Lucian. I couldn't find information on this. Like, I guess he's the counter. Because I've heard him say on broadcasts before, this is the counter of Zhao into the Smolder. But what do most of the casters know? So Smolder wins against Lucian 66% of the time, but that's in 3 games. Be nice if we had data on the LPL server. So Gen.G have losing matchups. The top lane, the jungle, it's 50-50. I guess that the Smolder's good into Lucian, so Chovy has a strong mid lane matchup. Callista into Jinx. So Callista wins against Jinx 57% of the time, so Gen.G have a winning bottom lane matchup. And Renata into Poppy. Renata wins against Poppy 25% of the time. So it's kind of like a give and take. You're not going to get every lane winning. And I don't exactly believe, or I don't believe in the pro play is a lot different than solo queue. You work together and it's more team based thing. And that's what I like. I would like to be on a team or work with teams. I don't really like the solo queue thing where it's every man for themselves. But we'll go ahead and get in the game. I may do a little bit of Rift map stuff. I was trying to show something earlier. I know in the last VOD I did, there was a situation where there's a ward like 4 minutes, and I'm trying to show that how it would spot out where it was Ivern, even though Ivern could maybe go up against the Gromp wall. It's hard to get these exact, but I try to show the area vision of the champions, because I don't think a lot of you out there know this stuff. Or just like to get vision of your enemy, your icon has to intersect with, and I show it in detail in a couple of my Gen.G VODs, but you don't, Smolder wouldn't see Ivern right here. It's when these just barely intersect like that, then you would have vision on each other. So I say like the icons have to kiss each other to have vision. So I try to show a lot of vision. Like I said, my Warcraft 3 days, my Warcraft 2 days, the top players always told me it was all about scouting out the enemy, getting vision, planning steps ahead of them. You don't just attack to attack just for the fun of it. You plan things out. So we'll go ahead and get into the game here. I don't know if I'll show this or not later on, but I just want to try to help you get to the next level here on my show. So we'll go ahead and get into the game. Hopefully my microphone's much better and you can understand me and you don't get turned off by distortion. It is getting hot in here. I might have to turn the AC on. Alright, so is that classic Smolder? Anybody ever look at the faces and little things that stand out, maybe Easter eggs, like maybe there's a face or like a helmet right there in this, and there's a lot of them around the map. Maybe I'll point them out later. Like there's tombstones. There's like a dragon face somewhere around like Elder Lizard, I think.
They are a team that's a wild card.
So
They've lost some of the worst. Like they are a team that's a wild card.
Trying to see if Maokai. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. Like when Maokai gets vision on Ivern, right there, he would get vision.
Know the level that they're going to deliver on the day. They've beaten some of the best teams in the LPL. They've lost.
Not yet, but when they intersect with each other. So he would have vision right there. And a lot of you, I don't think, know this. And it's where the icons have to intersect with each other. Like Zahu has vision on Chovy. There in brushes.
Some of the worst. Like,
Be nice if I could do that more fluid. Oh no, he didn't see Chovy. I'm sorry.
You know?
I know he does at one point.
Didn't expect.
So I think about right there, he would have vision on Chovy.
That's a wild card.
Maybe even Callista.
And I think many didn't.
He would have vision on Renata right now, not Chovy, not Callista. Now he would have vision about right there on Chovy. I don't think a lot of you know the area of vision.
To qualify, but here we
to
are.
where you can see your opponents or the area vision of wards. So I'm trying to help show you that to get to the next level. Obviously, Keen sees Jax right there. So you got to, like I said, you're trying to get the Void Grubs as your first goal. You're trying to hit 100 CS at 10 minutes, 10 CS per minute. I don't think the lane swaps, what they're trying to tell you on the caster desk, that it's all about bad bottom lane matchups. I mean, some of it's that, but these players are good enough that they can lane into bad matchups. It's more about getting the Void Grubs, and that you got to have pressure. Again, there's an imaginary line that splits this map in half. Only if you could draw it straight, Sodaron. About more like that. And this is on the red side of the map. Now, this is all red side, and this is blue. To put map pressure means that you're pushing the wave over this line into whatever direction. So if you're blue side, you got to have map pressure going to be able to take the Void Grubs. If you don't, you can't really get them. The red side will get them. And so you want to get the Void Grubs and then the Dragon, even though you can get the... I think Gen.G get the Dragon first in this game. No, I think they get the Void Grubs, then the Dragon. I don't know why teams aren't just taking the Dragon at 5 minutes. But I guess they're worried about losing the Void Grubs, because they're putting a lot of attention into taking the Void Grubs, even with the lane swaps. And there's weird stuff where your support goes into the mid lane and to get level 2, so then they can roam. It's like quicker than, I guess, going to bottom lane and then having to roam up into the to get level 2 and then go up to the top side or the middle by having to like recall and go back to the lane. So we got Breathe like just getting information. He's doing scouting right now. He's scouting out the enemy. Very, very brave of him. But I think that like Canyon's not going to take W right here, so Breathe knows that. They know he's not going to waste using W. He's got to take Q first. He may have took the E first. Did they show what's... No, of course they didn't show on the Observer. Of course you can't see it because I'm right here, but they're showing Callista. I don't know if I should make my camera smaller or not. I don't need to say or not, just make my camera smaller. But Crisp could smash Canyon into the wall or get his flash out. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. You get the flash out, and then you make some type of play later on in 5 minutes before it's up. I show you all the timings on here. I'm sure a lot of you don't know those off the top of your head. So here's the supports. Well, we got the top laner in this game, so that's kind of weird too. I think Keen's working his way down the bottom lane. Renata's going into the bottom lane instead of mid lane. I don't know really why Gen.G's doing that, but I think you have to get level 2. There's like a turret dive that goes on at like 4 minutes now, and it forces your top laner to use his teleport to save the turret, and then your support also needs to be there and be level 2, so it prevents him from taking the turret or turret plates. I don't know if you can get the turret straight up by 5 minutes in the game, because there's supposed to be increased fortification until 5 minutes. So here's what I was showing about too on the Rift kit is you see Tarzan down here. Like this ward spots him out, but I don't think a lot of you know the area of vision on these wards. So let me back it up a little bit here. Went too far. Okay, so let's look at when this ward would first see him right here. I think about right there is when this ward would spot him out. But let's take a deeper look here to the next level. Now, I'll probably only do this one time because I don't want this to turn into an hour-long VOD. Okay, so it's looking like right when he comes out of this brush, this ward will just barely, because there's a brush there. It's hard to get these exact, and it's something Riot doesn't tell you either. Now, the area around him is if you hit A, or is it Alt in the game, it shows you your auto attack range. And so, because it's like trying to find out your area of vision around your champion, how big it is. And it's, you know, the size of, basically the size of this icon on the mini map is the area of vision you have. And I don't think a lot of you look into that stuff. So right there, it would, this ward would spot him. So Tarzan gets spotted out, and now you, again, I talked about it all summer long. You make your plays off vision control. There's even a quote and a VOD that I show that No Faye, one of the most famous coaches in League of Legends, exact words. There was a show like in between LCK, in between the broadcasts, where they had retired players come out of retirement, like Prey and Kuro and No Faye as the coach, and Rich, and he was coaching them because they were doing a show match against challenger players, and his exact quotes were, "You make plays around vision control," and that was after I make my VODs and talk about it, and so it kind of validates what I talk about. So he's spotted out now, and Gen.G know to make a play around him, or they know to back off. That they probably think some type of dive's coming in here. I mean, not at this point, because WBG's up at this top lane turret, but I mean, they know where Tarzan is. They probably make a play down the bottom lane now. And we got the teleport coming in from Jax, who's level 2 now. You got to get level 2 to save this. You're not going to lose the turret, but it's to keep them from getting more plates. There's increased fortification until 5 minutes into the game, and then your support usually comes here to save you too, so you don't get 3 or 4 man dove. You need your support there. Let's see where Crisp was. Crisp roamed around 2 minutes and 40 seconds down to the bottom lane.
There's only the 2 members so far. Jungler not in a position. Remember that Canyon's
We got Canyon working his way there too, but they're not going to be able to dive a Jax or a... And I think some of this also has to do with Void Grubs. Try to keep your team from getting the Void Grubs at 6 minutes. So no bottom lane vision out of WBG in this game. Looks like Tarzan put a ward down here at the Wolf camp on Gen.G's side. I don't know what the Rumble into Jinx matchup is. Let's take a look at that. Oh, I already canceled out of it. Hold on. It says Rumble's good into Jinx, but it was only like one game. 100% win rate. So, which, like, Jinx doesn't have a dash to get away from Rumble, and he's got increased movement speed. So, I don't think the Rumble's going to get dove. I don't think you can really dive a Rumble. With 2-man, now 3-man you can. So Riot said they increased the fortification, and these turrets shouldn't go down until 5 minutes into the game. So having a 5-minute turret down is pretty rough. And if you're a solo queue player and you go, especially if you bottom lane and you say, my teammates are bad and I win my lane but I lose the game, it's because when the first turret's down, you need to rotate into the mid lane, and you let your mid laner side lane and the bottom lane or the top lane, and then your top laner side lanes, and you stay in the mid lane, and then you're safe. Your jungler, your support can babysit you so you don't get killed or ganked, and that will probably fix your problem of why you can't win. It's not because of your teammates. Now, I know how it is too. Here, Callista and Renata are going to get spotted out on the ward. I could go and show you that as well, but you know, I don't want to spend too much time on it. There's so many games I should be doing. I'm way behind. Last night put me behind because I got the T1 top ready to go, and then I got so many more games that I got to take notes on, and a lot of it's the production, the technical stuff that holds me back. I know the macro and the pro stuff, so it's just my knowledge of running obs and technical stuff is not good. So Tarzan gets spotted out on a ward, and here we have the 6-minute Void Grubs, and then Gen.G are going to get the Dragon as well. And you notice how they rotated their bottom lane up here to get the map pressure that I keep talking about. They're over the line. They're pushing map pressure into WBG's top lane turret, allowing them to take the Void Grubs, because again, it's on the red side of the map in the Baron Pit, just like the Dragon Pit is on blue side of the map. So naturally, that allows Gen.G to get, that's why it might be stronger. You have a top lane matchup, or you get your bottom lane up there. Then you also have the bottom lane is on blue side, so you should naturally be able to get the Dragon unless the bottom lane's losing and have map pressure, but that looks like it's not going to be the case in this game. The Rumble was doing well into the Jax. He got a big lead though, is the thing. He got the solo lane, and Jax didn't get the solo lane. And the Renata Glass Callista duo is probably good into anyone. You can't do too much no matter what solo laner you are, even Jax. So it's a smart team comp from Gen.G here. And maybe they do the Rumbles good into the Jax. I can't have all the stats acknowledged, so Keen gets spotted out on a ward. He's trying to push this wave up, I think, to get map pressure, so now Gen.G can take the Dragon. This is where WBG should be going for the Dragon now. That I don't know why they're worried about diving Lehens and Callista right here. They should be going for the Dragon. So around 10 minutes, you want to have 100 CS. It looks like some of the players got their tier 1 boot or the tier 2 boots already. Callista got her Zerker Greaves. Smolder got his steel plate cap boots, or steel plated boots, or whatever they're called. And Jax got his Mercury treads, but he doesn't have much of a power spike right now until you get the Sheen or the Hearth Stone Axe or whatever it's called. It used to be the Sheen was the good power spike from Trinity Force, but since they made it have better build items, I don't think it's the strongest anymore. But the Sheen really helps you have more damage on turrets and when he Qs and Ws. But I don't really see players doing that now. So the wave is pushed up from... And then the Callista's going back into the bottom lane as well. So they're pushing up this wave, allowing map pressure so Canyon can come up here and take the Dragon. It looks like Renata's down here. And this is also where WBG don't really have any bottom lane map pressure. And Crisp gets caught out right here. And this might be the turning point of the game, where Crisp gets caught out by himself. He should have a teammate. If you notice Gen.G, they don't have any solo players roaming around, and that's a big play. Maybe if Crisp didn't die, WBG would have got the Dragon, but him dying, he should have had Tarzan roaming with him. I know Zalhu was kind of close to him, but he should have had his jungler. You see Lehens and Canyon are working together, and even Chovy showed up. But you want to have your first item in boots at 15 minutes in the game. You should have 150 CS. So that's what I want you players to work on if you want to get to the next level. I want you to work on your vision control. I want you to get the little summoning card here and know the cooldown timers and make plays around that. Like right now, Canyon doesn't have flash, so you make your play on Canyon right now. If you catch him out, should be able to catch him out alone at some point and punish him. But it's not much of a long window that his flash will be back up. I'd say like 30 seconds it'll be back up. So Lil Hens has his ignite down. That's not really going to be much of a difference or something that you can punish. You punish players that don't have flash. So not too much going on here. You got the next set of Void Grubs spawning in 15 seconds. You got all this vision up here that Gen.G already had prepped. I mean, that's pretty crazy. They just got the Dragon, and they also have all this vision here. I don't think they had too much vision down here. It was just where Crisp died. and it allowed Gen.G to get the dragon. You know, usually there's some type of give and take. You take one, give the other one away as a consolation prize, but Gen.G is what's considered the top team in the world, and they're looking like it in this game. Even though WBG have a 5K gold lead ahead of Gen.G. Now, some of that might be where they're making plays around the map and WBG's laning. So here's the Rumble. There also is good synergy between Renata Glask. I didn't mean Rumble, but Renata Glask and Maokai, because you catch them in the route and then you berserk them. Whatever her ultimate. I need to know what her ultimate is called. But some really hard CC you can't get away from. I think I missed Poppy ulted somebody, but I was talking. I didn't pay attention. It looks like he whiffed his ult. I don't think he got anyone. So kind of a suspect play there from Crisp. I think he whiffed a couple Poppy ults in this game, and you got to make those. He really needed to probably wait and maybe get Lehens when he comes around the corner. I think he was afraid to get too close because of the flame spitter from Rumble right here, so he had to back away. And then if you got too close to Callista, she'll jump in on you with her passive.
Daisy called out. 4 grubs already picked up. Lehens ulting over the wall. That's going to be big, paired beautifully with the Rumble, but 2 quick flashes out from Weibo means they're going to still be standing. Crisp,
so Gen.G get those set of void grubs here. Breathe makes some questionable plays in this game. He's making teleport flank play here, but I think it's too late. Crisp missed his ultimate. Crisp is almost dead. Looks like there's shot calling problems on WBG. They have the laners and players. You know, there is a communication barrier where Tarzan's Korean and probably doesn't speak fluent Chinese. And I mean, you got to make split-second decisions in this game at the highest level. So Breathe couldn't even do anything to Chovy. Chovy might have, his plated boots might have helped him survive right there. But Xiaohu makes some very questionable plays in this game. He also doesn't take any boots. Like maybe if he got CDR boots or Mercury treads early, it would have changed the outcome on some things. But he makes some teleports where he tries to flank and he's like going into 3 or 4 Gen.G players, and it's like, what are you doing? And he knows he's got to come back into the game because of the smolder. You've got to close the game out. Realistically, 20 or 30 minutes, you know, smolder gets his stacks around 20-25 minute window. You got to close the game out before then, especially if the team gets 4 Dragon Souls. Sorry, I can't talk all the time. I got to take a break. So Lehens gets caught out on a ward. Canyon gets spotted out on a ward. Xiaohu knows to back off here. That ward there also spots Crisp, for example, because like Gen.G can't see Crisp right here. He can there because Lehens' portrait is intersecting with Poppy, but later on, like when he's going around there. But Lehens also spots him out with that ward as well as soon as he pops out of the brush. And I think that we need to kind of see more from Weibo in these fights, because so Lehens is looking really good in this game. He makes some questionable things too, where he gets caught out a lot. That's a great spot to put a wards in the middle of the map if you don't know where, in the middle of lanes, if you don't know where to ward. That's a good spot. It looks like another thing I see is WBG. They have the zombie ward on one champ, but I see that Gen.G have 2 sets of zombie wards. So there's a lot of vision on Gen.G in this game. You got the saplings from Maokai, you got the 2 sets of, I think that Pays even has zombie wards, so 2 sets of zombie wards. So there's a lot of vision that Gen.G is going to have in this game. It's going to be lit up like a Christmas tree.
move in towards the bot river, and now you can start threatening towards that top tower, deep vision.
Callista's got her Blade of the Rune King, so Callista's ahead. Rumble's behind. What's happening to the top laners right now, because you got the lane swap. You've got Jinx on her one item, tier 1 boots, unfortunately, but he's got the dagger, so he should be having the Zerker Greaves pretty soon. Now, this is a long game. I may start skipping through a little bit. Again, I don't want a 2-hour VOD. Tarzan has his flash down, so if he gets caught out alone, he'd get punished. There's a ward right there. Again, there's a lot of wards from Gen.G in this game. A lot of wards right now from WBG. Like, they've got good macro. They've got the players. It's just there's communication going on. So here's another teleport that Xiaohu makes in. And I don't know what he's going to do. Let's see, what's the timing in the game? It's like 15 minutes right now for the Rift Herald. But Canyon makes a really good play to root them, to guess that. I don't know how he knew that Xiaohu was teleporting on that ward. But I guess he was trying to root Crisp. It looks like Gen.G are giving up the Rift Herald here to go ahead and get another Dragon Soul. So you got the mid laner, or the bottom laners in the mid lane now. Yeah, you got WBG going for the Rift Herald. It's going to make up for the Void Grubs a little bit. Gen.G need the Void Grubs a lot more than WBG does. That's why, like, it was really important for WBG to get those Void Grubs, because they already have a lot of attack damage to get the turrets of Jax and Lucian and Jinx, but they're allowing Gen.G that don't really have the the siege damage, we'll call it, to take the turrets down, and it's going to allow them later in this game to push turrets down very quickly, like a Rumble that doesn't have attack damage, Maokai that doesn't have attack damage, Renata that can't really do anything, Callista doesn't really have the best turret auto damage, Smolder doesn't really have the best turret auto damage. I guess you take that Spear Shojin, right, because it has a dragon face on it, is some of the reason you take it on Smolder. So Lahen's spotted out on a ward from WBG. So now your next goal is you're trying to get 200 CS at 20 minutes. You know, it's 200 at 20, 150 at 15 minutes. And that gets you the boots, tier 2 boots and an item, tier 2 boots and an item. It's a little bit over that, but Canyon went for a Giant's Belt instead of T2 boots. So they all have what they need, but by 20 minutes you should have 2 items, 25 minutes. And then you can take the Baron, and hopefully you have Dragon Souls and close the game out to 25 or 30 minutes. I don't like long games. He takes the Caulfield's Hammer, Xiaohu, instead of tier 2 boots. Light does something weird where he takes some weird builds here, not taking a core item, but taking item, I don't know what you call it, item parts. So he takes a Zeal and a Last Whisper instead of like going for his Dominic's second. So that might harm WBG and team fights as well that are coming up. So not too much going on here. You got the Baron in 2 minutes 45 seconds, or the Dragon in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They're just trying to hit their CS numbers, put wards around. Crisp is kind of going out on his own right here. He could be punished. I'm trying to pay attention if Renata goes on her own or not, or if Canyon goes on his own. Yeah, I just saw him clear out Vision in the bottom jungle, and it looks like Renata Glask is going back. She's probably recharging her. Now look how Rumble's getting his own turret with those Void Grubs.
faster pace, get reset
But
first.
Renata goes
Xiaohu
back to charge her item and gets a Kindle Gem and a cloth armor and 2 control wards. I mean, you always want to be buying wards when you back.
An interesting game state is just cross maps continue to come through. Both these teams just kind of waiting for those spikes.
Even if you're an AD,
those
even if you're a mid laner,
major objectives to
they need to
respawn, about a
have
minute and a half until
wards
this
as well.
Infernal Dragon. Respect being shown from both sides.
Unfortunately, Chovy can't get wards, but they have the Farsight Stone. So an AD mid laner don't need it if you've got the Farsight Stones, obviously. Like Jinx has his, but Xiaohu needs to have his right now. I don't know why he's got the Vision Ward totem.
Doesn't really matter if he takes 100, 200 damage.
So there's another questionable thing that Xiaohu does in this game. It looks like he's going to recall. He's got an agility Caulfield's hammer, so hopefully he gets some type of wards when he goes back.
I'm going to be honest, Betty, when we started this game, I thought we were going to have time to talk about.
He does. He gets his Farsight Stone, and he's got the Essence Reaver. So he's on his 2 items at 20 minutes. You can take Baron once you have your 2 items at 20 minutes on all your laners. That's the other reason why you get it, why you're trying to hit that goal at 20 minutes. And then the Baron buff allows you to siege the enemy base. I'm sure most of you know this, but some of my target audience. Whoa, sorry, sorry about that. I hit my microphone. Some of my target audience, I'm trying to get to newer players that don't know this stuff, and because this is a very complicated game. There's so much going on. Trying to keep track of 10 different players at one time. Like me talking, you listen to the casters and they get a break every 2 minutes. So there's the Baron swimming down the river. And I don't know why Xiaohu's taking the plant, I guess trying to get it away from Canyon or somebody. Tarzan clearing out some wards. Crisp hanging out behind the dragon. So Breathe has his teleport up. Everybody's got their teleports. They got their summoner spells. They got their ultimates. So we're going to get a team fight right here. Now, I don't see very much vision out of WBG. Also, here's another thing is Crisp is kind of screwed right here because he only has 1 ward left. Like, he really needs to back. He should have backed earlier. They got a control ward, but they're going to need Vision in this Dragon Pit. They've got the 2 Farsight Stones. And unfortunately, he's got the Zombie Ward, but they have 2 sets of Zombie Ward. And you got the Saplings from Maokai, so you got a Vision machine right here. You got a Vision machine right here that gives you Vision as well. So the Vision is just a lot stronger on Gen.G right here, where you can just control the game. But the wards are really going to hurt right here because WBG have 1 ward. They're going to have to fight in the dark. So there's the control ward. Light clears that zombie ward out. So at least WBG get lucky and get the Scuttle Crab here. That probably helps them. I think WBG get the dragon, actually. We got Breathe, teleport flanking behind.
Will show up on the bottom side of the map, waiting in the brush. Gen.G do spot him. Are they going to collapse? Or are they going to go for the 50-50 knockback?
The Brushmaker's doing a lot of work from Tarzan right here at the dragon. That is one of the good... I forgot about the Brushmaker. Also allows you to engage and disengage, and you need more vision if you're Gen.G. But so that's another smart thing about the Gen.G comp is you got all this vision. You're going to need it for the Ivern. So Poppy actually makes a play there, and Gen.G or WBG should get this dragon. They do. Now what's Breathe doing? Breathe goes in, but his teammates can't come in and help him. They're all choked over here. Or in a choke point. So Zhao Hu used his ult already. Daisy's already used. They really need the Daisy and the ultimate out of Zhao Hu right here to take this fight. And it looks like Breeze's like, I'm ready to go, guys. They got the barrier on pace, so you got to get that out of him. It's going to help him survive. You got the bailout. So barrier and bailout are going to do a lot of work for Callista. He's going on pace, but again, pace has, and he also just got some shielding. He's got the barrier. Oh, that was his barrier shielding. He's got the barrier and the bailout. So they get the berserk on him to disengage. I'm guessing the Rumble ultimate just zoned the rest of WBG away. He already used it. We go back. So I'm guessing Keen throws the... Oh, they got the root off too. So Canyon got the root off before he Poppy ulted, and then they're going to get Rumble ulted as well, or at least it's going to zone him away. So really good Rumble ultimate and really great Maokai ultimate. Or WBG could have won this team fight. Even though the Lucian ultimate's gone already. Maybe Jinx should have ulted about right now into the pit. Because you need everybody grouped up. But moving along, don't want to, again, I don't think people want a 2-hour-long VOD, even though this is a breakdown. Now Light's out of mana, so he can't do anything more in the fight. Tarzan disengages with the Brushmaker. Zhao Hu has plenty of mana, so Gen.G back off, and now this is probably where WBG have a gold lead. Yeah, they got a 3k gold lead at this point. Like, WBG are doing well in the Gen.G, and then they lost to G2, but I think they gifted a free win. Breathe was very questionable in that game too, taking Conqueror.
This fight starts with a good Poppy ultimate onto Canyon, getting him out of the fight.
No, it wasn't a good Poppy ultimate because Canyon got the ultimate off. So it was really kind of useless.
To start with, but this difference between the range, look at how Light chips away at Chovy's HP bar.
And really, it helped Canyon because he got the E off in this brush.
Doing work for Tarzan and Zhao Hu on the backside, and then Breathe.
Helped him get further away to get further vision out.
Working well by going in for the 1v3, but then the Renata ultimate zoning the rest of Weibo away from the exchange. But now this.
I probably talked about that fight enough. I'd probably start skimming through this game a little bit more because I know it's like a 45-minute long game. So here Light has the Last Whisper and the Zeal, where he should maybe be on a Lord's Dominic by now, or like, I don't know if you take Rapid Fire Cannon on Jinx or Phantom Dancer. But he's trying to take Armor Pin and some attack speed instead. Maybe he would have done more damage in that fight. And this is where I think I'd rather see Jax have his Zhonya's right now. I don't think Jax needs damage. He needs survivability. Their Light just got the Lord's Dominic. And I don't know, that fight might have turned out different if he didn't have the Zeal and had the Lord's Dominic and the IE in the last Dragon fight. Maybe he would have done a lot more damage. There's not too much going on. This is where you, like, Rumble's already got his Seeker's Arm Guard, so he's got engage and disengage now. So this is where you want your 2 items, your boots, and go for Baron. So that's the next thing the teams are working on. And so Jax goes to the Sundered Sky. Let's take a look at something real quick. So looking at these builds, 58% win rate on Sundered Sky, 57%, 63%. Looking to see if Zonya's in here. Blade of the Rune King, 60% with Stride Breaker, and maybe Stride Breaker would have been better than the 59% with the Spear of Shojin. I just think maybe there was a better itemization here than the Sundered Sky that Breathe took. Where's the Zonya's second? 62% with Titanic Hydra. I was about to say 63 with Riftmaker, but it's 59 with Riftmaker. We'll just throw Zonya's in there. Scales AP. Looking for Zonya's second. I know I saw it on Ben, I think. Looks like Jax has a very high win rate no matter what he takes. There it is. 46%, 15 games. But I think he's the engage in this game. He has shielding from Ivern. So it is on there, like I said. I kind of questioned the build that Breathe takes in this game, that it might have been a different outcome if he had a Zonya's. Because Ivern has the Mikhail's Crucible and the Redemption, but he's going to have to use that on Zhao every time. It looks like Zhao gets targeted out every time because Gen.G know he's a shot caller, the main voice on WBG.
Which is a tough thing to do against Gen.G.
Certainly is. Gen.G, a very tenacious team.
So you gotta. This is one of the questionable plays I was talking about, where Zhao is teleporting. I think Jax is teleporting to the turret, and Zhao is teleporting back here. Like somebody is teleporting on a ward. It just comes in behind him. Like there's complete miscommunication on the team.
Hoping to just get a little bit of poke.
So he's
Maybe hoping to zone them
teleported in behind, and it's like the rest of his team's not ready for this. I thought I saw Jax teleporting here too. There's Jax. So he comes in. I think this is the thing I was talking about, where he's like, all right, Chovy's about to get his 225 stacks, and we got to start closing this game out or we're going to lose. They got a what is it? Like a 5K gold lead right here. So he knows we got to apply pressure and we got to win this game now. And so he goes for a renegade play, and it doesn't do anything. I mean, maybe he's telling the team, go, 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 go.
They're in a good position. They now just need to be able to close it out, which is a tough thing to do.
Now, another thing is it's not a good time to go, 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 because Poppy only has one ward.
Against Gen.G.
Certainly is. Gen.G.
And also you got the barrier. You got to catch Canyon out that doesn't have flash. You got to catch Renata out. Maybe that's some of it. That he's like, that they know that their ultimate, Keen just used his ultimate. Let's see. Dragon up in 4 minutes and 22 seconds.
Hoping to just get a little bit of poke. Maybe hoping to zone.
But it looked like the calling didn't do much. It hit Canyon, who's tanky, and didn't do anything. You don't really have high enough of a power spike yet that the ult is going to do tons of damage, like Freak says. But I think that it looks like a very questionable play out of Zhao. It's like, I think he knows that our window to win this game is closing very soon. I saw Top Esports win against the Smolder today from DK, but they had a Zen Zhao.
Do it, you won't. No, you do it. I mean, they're just trying to bait each other into a fight, and the side lanes are relatively even, right? Bot lane is essentially dead even.
So WBG spotted out, well, the minion wave's going to spot him out.
CS or gold to just hang out in the mid lane and posture. But a very awkward, you're right, because these are teams who normally you're like, oh, perfect.
So we've got Breathe just pushing out this wave in the bottom lane. You got prepping for the dragon. You got the map pressure like I'm talking about. You got to have on the blue side of the map if you're red team. That you got to have that pushed out if you want to get the dragon. He should probably be soloing the dragon. It looks like Poppy's got the 4 sets of wards now, so This is probably a fight where WBG take the dragon, then Gen.G is going to go straight to the Baron. And Gen.G is probably glad to give up the dragon for the Baron right now. They know they can take it. They don't have their 2 items on Rumble, though. So it won't be like a very quick Baron. Because if you got your 2 items on all of your laners and your support, the Baron just melts. But if you don't, obviously it takes a couple minutes to kill the Baron. It's a little bit of a struggle. First Baron, then the second, third, it's not so bad. I mean, sometimes it's not so bad anymore, but a few years ago, like, players in solo queue were scared to death to take the Baron, and I used to play Nunu back in the day that could literally solo the Baron at 20 minutes. And then it was funny because, so nice. Let me talk about what's going on here. I think WBG's trying to force a fight right here. Should have just went for the dragon. But again, I think Xiaohu knows that window is closed, so they got to start making plays. They've got a 5k gold lead, so they're trying to make up for the or they're trying to force the advantage to win the game. Don't know what Breathe is doing. I think he needs to be over there with Crisp and Tarzan. That was close to taking down Lahens. Did he use his bailout?
Crisp kind of shepherding them like a border collie up towards the top side of the map as Lahens getting lower and lower. Rocket hit
I guess the
stops
bailout
recall.
wouldn't have saved him though.
They're being herded.
Nice little play from Tarzan and Light. At least they got the flash out of Lahens. Maybe this is where they should have went for Baron instead of going to the dragon. Let's see, two. They got the 2 items. Maybe they. This is another thing. Maybe WBG messed up on. They go for the dragon where they should have just went straight for Baron, and maybe they would have came close to killing it in time before Gen.G got back. But Gen.G are going to go straight to Baron. There's not very much vision up there. I see 1 or 2 sets of wards that are going to spot Gen.G as they go up here. There's a nice little zombie ward that got vision, a control ward. So Chris whiffed his second ultimate. So Chris might be the Dade Award winner in this game. It's between like Xiaohu, Breathe, Chris missing 2 ultimates. And I don't know, maybe Zanya's would have been good on Tarzan as well. Or at least the Seeker's Arm Guard. So the Lucian ultimate at least forces out the Zanyas. Oh, Keen's got the Zanyas already. So just seeing about the engage. I used to say who shot first, like the Greedo in Star Wars. Trying to figure out, did Han Solo shoot first or did Greedo shoot first? I don't know what the Daisy's doing out already. That's a very premature Daisy from Tarzan. Doesn't it have some type of knock-up when you cast it? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Daisy gets instantly berserked and rooted. Look at that duo tandem that Canyon and Lahent. They must like playing with each other. Or that sounds weird. On the same team. Playing together. Playing together sounds better than playing with each other. But they like instantly Maokai ult and Renata Glask ult at the same time. So WBG get very split up here, and then you got 4 players just grouping up on one WBG member. Now the Lucian did a little bit of a disengage here for Breathe.
Crucially untouched, flashing from Chris, trying to finish the job. The bailout there, the bailout is not enough. Breathe, still going. Xiao flashing in with full confidence, but Chovy is alive, looking for the resets. Tarzan now trying to get the hell out.
Just watching what's going on.
Canyon gonna get the job done. Weibo with a man advantage, 4-3 overall. The fight.
So really, Pays is just wasting WBG's time like a cat chasing a laser pointer right now, trying to kill him when they should be pushing out the waves. Or going for, well, the dragon is dead. But Gen.G got the Baron. I guess there's nothing Weibo could have done because of the Maokai ultimate and the Renata Glask ultimate, keeping them from even being able to engage into a choke point.
Use the Maokai ultimate to zone them away, but then they turn their attention to Breathe, and they think this could be an easy pick. He buys a lot of time, and Gen.G becomes split up. That allows for Weibo to capitalize on the split up.
WBG's been very split up in this game. One guy's at like one corner of a pit, and another guy's at another corner of the pit, another guy's at another corner of the pit.
So what you're saying is we go again.
We just kind of go again.
So lights on 3 items. You want to have 3 items. CSing. I still think like Breathe at least now should be going for Zonya's Hourglass, but he's going for Steric's Gauge. Tarzan's got the Shirella's Revelry. I think that's how it's pronounced. 3 items. Zhaohu's on 3 items with the Last Whisper, but I think maybe you should have Mercury Treads, you know, for the, you know, you got the Mikhail's Crucible, but there's more than one person you got to save if you're Tarzan, and it looks like Zhaohu's the one that's getting the Mikhail's Crucible click every time, because he doesn't have Mercury Treads, but you'd think he'd have Mercury Treads, and that would help the Renata Glask ult and the Maokai ultimate. And again, I didn't hit on it, but I think that was a premature Maokai ultimate. It did root some people, though. There goes the Smolder heal, or ultimate. I think it heals him, right? I've never played Smolder. But Gen.G get a turret. The Void Grub's doing a lot of work to take down a T2 turret. Plus they got the Baron buff minions, the big cannon, sieging. That's the big thing from the Baron buff, is that sieging cannon to help break into the base. It died. I wanted to point it out, but I'm sure you know what it looks like. Looks like the Baron buff wore off. So this is another one of those plays I was talking about, where Zhaohu just like renegades. Called it Renegade yesterday when I was doing the first take of this, but I don't know what he's doing right here. Plus you got Breathe clear down here. I think you would need Breathe in this fight. I mean, they've got their ultimates they just used. So he knows this window is closing, that Smolder's already on 315 stacks. He's on 3 items. I remember Callisto gets a Randuin's Omen at one point, and then Chovy has a Mercurial Scimitar and sells it and gets a Randuin's. So Zhaohu makes this Renegade play. It'll, again, I think it's because there's a closing window because of the Smolder. I just noticed Maokai has his Randuin's now too, to help the attack damage from Jinx and Jax and Lucian. So did he get Poppy ulted? Oh no, he just came in behind him. So nice flank play from Keen there, who had his teleport up. They didn't know. They made this play too, not knowing where Rumble was. I don't think.
Yes, sir, it is.
You know, Rumble's back here. Uh-oh. Hitting the wrong buttons. Rumble's back here. He's out of vision. They don't know where Jax is either. They don't know where Lucian is right now. I don't remember if he ran through there or not. But he gets spotted on this zombie ward right here. Again, they have so much vision on Gen.G. You can't really make plays like this because they got 2 sets of zombie wards, the Callista. But Keen comes in behind them. They get berserked. So that play from Zahu just really backfired. So there's another, what you may call a turning point of the game. And I might skip through here because it's already probably like a 2-hour-long VOD. So, you know, the teams are going to back. I guess we'll watch what Zahu does. But he's just trying to waste time from Gen.G right now and make them chase and not get minion waves. I don't think he can die to as he's taking out waves. I don't think he can die to the turret because he'll give a kill away. I mean, look at all that outplaying that Zahu does. He almost solo killed Chovy. He got a lot out of him. But we got the Baron in a minute 50 seconds and the Dragon coming up in like 20 seconds. So that'll be number 3 for Gen.G. I think this game goes on for 45 minutes. So this is where there's not too much going on in the game. They're just trying to get your 300 CS by now, which Chovy has and Pays has, and Rumble's going to be behind because of the lane swap, and so is Jax. So Gen.G's going to get the Dragon here. I don't think there's anything that WBG can do to prevent the Dragon yet, so we'll go ahead and skip through that. Got Chovy coming in. There's a teleport, so they're making another type of siege before the Baron in 50 seconds. It's just there's so much vision on Gen.G compared to what WBG have, even with the zombie ward on Poppy. Because of the Callista's W and then having zombie ward. I think she has zombie ward. Lehen's having zombie ward. Maokai's saplings. It's just nothing you can do. They lost the 6 Void Grubs. So it looks like the teams are going to back here, recall, and prep for Baron. Replenish their wards. Just paying attention. So Lehen's got replenished his and got 2 control wards.
Heavily shifted this game in their favor.
Callista even has 2 control wards like I was talking about. So Gen.G just have superior vision. Of course, they have Mata on their team that knows all about how important vision is. They used to put like 20 wards down back in the day, like Samsung. Sorry.
On the table once more, we see both teams setting up for the objective.
They also have no magic damage at all.
So Pays gets spotted out on a control ward. Canyon got spotted out on a control ward. I don't think that there's anything WBG can do here to take this Dragon away. And I mean, that's what I was saying is Zahu like gave a 5k gold lead away with the Renegade plays that they just made twice.
Or the full AD kind of composition that Weibo have brought together.
Yeah, I just noticed the Randuin's on Pays as well.
That's high.
Yeah, and then Maokai has a Randuin's, and then Chovy has a Mercurial Scimitar and sells it for a Randuin's later on.
Baron becomes the big point of contention. Breathe doing what he can to push in the side lane. Void Staff now secured for Keen, but the little magic resistor does sit on the side.
I gotta see what my dog wants. Okay. It's like having a 15-year-old baby.
Pays though struggling to contest that mid wave. The culling once again.
Decent chunk. Mid pry on the favor of Weibo for a brief moment. They're now trying to use it to collapse onto.
Could make some mean jokes right there. Okay, so Zahu uses his ultimate again. I gotta refocus on where we were. Just the way the Baron pit is with the. Okay, Maokai's recalling.
Hayes, though, struggling to contest that mid wave. The
I
color
guess he
once
was
again.
pretending to recall. He's seeing if they were on a lot of times players do that to like pretend and see if they get any reaction out of the enemy team. So at least they get the berserk out of Lahens, and they forced his bailout. But Lahens has, or Pays has a Randuin's Omen now, so I don't even know if he needs the bailout. You're really not going to kill him with a Randuin's and lifesteal and a Randuin's Omen. And then the Smolder does absolutely insane damage now. So they should be able to take Baron, no problem. Yeah, they get the Baron. See, that's Zalhu coming in again with a Renegade play. It looks like he's like 1 versus 4ing his team. So he just gets owned by Pays with the Randuins.
And we just keep going. 7 seconds. Flash in the Callista. They have the Rend. TP.
Where is... So Canyon dies.
Put it into a Baron, but Gen.G responds in kind. They're starting the Baron without a smite of their own. They do, of course, have the Callista.
So Ivern has smite.
TP behind. Gen.G betting. Maybe not ever.
It's a shame, like, he didn't teleport there, and then he could... Zalhu could have teleported here and then throw it in his ultimate behind the Baron wall.
Everything but a whole hell of a lot on this play. Xiaohu now in the midst, trying to get a bit more damage now. Flash in from Pays. Keen going gold, and Xiaohu needs to get the hell away. Pays
He just gets owned by Pays.
But now it's Chovy and Pays, the 2v2, and we just keep going. 7 seconds.
So I guess the teams are going to reset. Crisp lost his flash. He's going to come down here and have fresh set of wards and control wards. You got the dragon in a minute and 30 seconds, so I'm going to skip through a little bit because players are just bouncing out waves, collecting waves, putting, you know, your Jax is trying to push this minion wave over the line like I talk about, so it crashes on the enemy side instead of crashing into their base. Because eventually the wave's going to get up here and crash into this turret, or the Chovy's coming down here to push this over this line so it crashes into this turret. But now WBG look like maybe they think they can get the Baron. They need Zalhu though. And Zalhu does have his ultimate up. I think he keeps prematurely using the calling. It's like a disengage for him. Also Smolder and Rumble weren't there. I think they're just going to get owned in the Baron pit. If Breathe had the Zonyas, he could go in right there and then survive long enough to let his team do damage on Gen.G. I mean, you're just going to get melted by a Smolder. Pays might have been able to even take Breathe right there. So we got Rumble going to the bottom lane. I think they're going to get the Dragon Soul right now. That Jinx ult didn't do anything. So they get the Dragon Soul here. So you've got Smolder, you got the Dragon Soul, got the... At least WBG got the Baron, so it'll help them stay in the game longer. Again, I don't like 45-minute long games.
So great Rumble ultimate onto the backline, but it doesn't actually end up doing as much damage as I thought it did. Crisp ends up getting melted immediately. The Jinx positioning is great. Lens doesn't die initially. It's this flank from Breathe in. But look at that 3-man knockup coming out from Daisy. Provides good utility as Chovy.
I need to get Ivern. I don't have him. I'm just a free weak Ivern, and I've been very against him, but I guess he's strong. I do like support, so I could be a very supportive jungler.
Jinx is full build now. Yeah, I mean, nearly everyone is full.
But I'm going to... So Crisp just got his 1, 2, 3, 4... He's on 5 items, so full build, and I meant light, not crisp. And that's what you want at 40 minutes. You want 400 CS.
we expected the return. Oh, there's a stun. Like
Just
there's-
putting wards
overall,
down.
Both sides are just kind of dancing. That's why positioning is so
Got the
crucial.
Elder
If you're
Dragon in
overstepping,
4
you're gonna get
minutes
one
and
shot.
25 seconds.
But now
If
things become much
Gen.G
harder
get
for
that,
Wayward.
it's
Just
over.
do the
Gen.G's just trying to let this Baron buff wear off so they can try to siege again.
Access to the McHale's, but it's going to have to be quick with it. And on the opposite side, Poppy. And it's just, again, I feel like we're a broken record here, but we have to say, like, this is a really hard game to play out because you have to be completely confident.
So it
if you're gonna
finally
pull the
wore
trigger
off
on an
now.
engage, or
Gen.G's
you will be the reason
on
your team loses the game.
Because the
in
thing is, like,
WBG's
if Canyon flash W's in,
territory,
you've gotta bear in
and
mind
like I
that
say
Sonic
on
is
my
that great
content,
ward
that the
follow-up
way I look
CC
at
that
it,
can
the
come from
game
that, right? So
is
he may just find himself
like
deep.
Gen.G
Speaking
own
of the
this
CC,
much
there's the ultis stacked
of
on
the
top
map.
each other.
Yahoo going back
Or I
immediately.
guess this much of the map.
Gen.G breaking down to tier 2.
And
Decent position. If they can force another fight,
WBG
McHale's
own this
available.
much of the map.
much more of an advantage.
I like how
But
they're
if you
playing
go
around these
over the
objectives,
line, you go
the
onto
way in
enemy
which they utilize the
territory,
Maokai
you don't have
ultimate
wards, you don't
with
have
the
a
ultimates
flash,
available in the
you're going to get
party
punished.
composition.
Just like
And
Chris
while
did.
Maokai was
Crisp,
nerfed,
I didn't
in
say
the duration
crisp,
on these saplings
or
is-
say
is
Chris, I said
reduced, but the
crisp.
scaling in terms of
Did
how
at
much noise you
the
get on
like
this
5
max
minutes
HP,
at the
his free
Dragon,
vision control is still just so
7
massive
minutes,
for Gen.G.
he got punished.
Means the setup around the next objective is that much easier. We are
So
2
Baron
minutes
in a
away.
minute
It
and
feels like it's
45
probably going to come
seconds.
down short of some sort of side lane pick. Yeah, Elder or a Baron fight.
Chovy's got Mercurial Scimitar, so he's on his full build. Pays is on his full build, but I remember Chovy sells the Mercurials and gets a Randuin's, which he just did. There we go.
Engaging was a problem in this game. I'll tell you, engaging. And,
So I guess they're waiting on, prepping for,
wait, hang on, Chovy sold
I don't
his
think you go for
QSS.
Baron here, you
He
go for
bought
Elder
Randuin's as
Dragon.
well.
And WBG have the Scuttle Crab in front of it right now, and I feel like there's got to be some type of stat that shows the win percentage of the objective if you get the Scuttle Crab in front of it versus you not having it, and I bet it's like 80%. So Gen.G's is clearing out vision,
If they can continue to stall, which they're doing a good
pushing
job
the
of
waves
so
up.
far, maybe he can even put some pressure onto that tier 2, but Keenan's
Notice
gonna
how
get an
you've got a
answer.
wave crashing into
Sums
each.
are all up.
Look, you got a wave crashing into each other right here,
Ready
but it's
for a
over
full
the line.
5v5, full strength from both sides.
So Chovy's gonna make it so it pushes back onto the enemy side.
See
And
Rumble
he needs,
respond, feel
he doesn't
confident
really
against
need the
that
gold or
force
XP. He's
core.
level 18, has, I
20
guess,
seconds on the Baron.
like any other champion
Elder
though,
ready to
like
equalize. No
see,
matter what lead you think you
Jinx
have,
is full build,
gets Elder,
Pays is full build,
just instantly
so
start winning fights.
getting the minion waves does nothing for you except pushes it into the enemy base
I mean, it is tense.
when that gold could go to
Like, this
teammates
game
like
is just the
Maokai,
best
but
of one.
Smolder on the other hand keeps
It's gonna
stacking.
impact the whole tournament, whether you go 1-0-0-1, your future
So I
opponents
think
will be determined
Gen.G's
by
just
that.
hanging out down
Going
here in the
1-0
bottom
gives you a
jungle
little bit
because
more breathing
they're
room. Certainly
getting
with
ready to go
0-1
for the
already starts
Elder
to put
Dragon at
pressure on
40
you.
seconds.
But also, with expectations so high on the side of Gen.G,
They
coming
may
in
even
as
be
one of the tournament
baiting
favorites to lose here to Weibo,
WBG right here. So
already
here comes
gonna shift
another
a lot
Renegade
of
play out of
perspectives.
Zalhu.
Gen.G
I don't know
top
why
of the table,
Tarzan
I believe, in
popped
terms
his
of the
ult.
overall power
I
ranking.
guess they
Weibo around 11th.
like really thought
Team
that
rated
there
not
was
nearly as
Gen.G
highly
members in
across
that
the board. A
brush,
lot
but
of
they
people
had no
skeptical as to
vision.
how good they would be on the
They had a
international stage,
Farsight
while this game
ward,
has been very
or
good.
two Farsight
All
stones,
matters is to win
and
that,
Wait,
a
that's huge,
support.
actually. 10 seconds until Elder, and Breeze is
I
gonna be
really
forced to
think
go back to
Crisp
base.
needs to
A
back
single
right
trade
now,
could
and
be
they need
massive in the
wards for
context of
this
what's about to happen.
Elder Dragon
Gets the
that's
recall
coming
one more
up.
time.
Xiaohu in a similar position where
Kane now
And
coming
they
in,
don't
forcing
have
flash
any,
out
so
the
there's
red.
going to be a huge vision advantage right
Now
here
it's
to Gen.G,
Gen.G
and they're also going to get the Scuttle Crab, it looks
control over
like.
this river.
But they have
They
no
have no way to
wards
get
right
in.
here. Like,
Weibo
Crisp
has to
needed
force
to
it.
back
Whoever
and
has to force
recharge
very
his
likely loses the team.
support
They know
item.
that it's coming. Breathe on the way in.
So I see
Rumble
some very
equalizer,
questionable
not doing
things
much,
out
gets
of
a bit of space
Crisp
for Chris. Payne starting to step
to
up. Ulti coming in
support
from Chovy. Hostile takeover, big.
the
Light
vision
immediately comes,
macro
doesn't get too much
from.
pace, trying to get into the backline, trying to make sure the lights and empty room to work. And already
So
the Elder is taken down.
WBG was like close to stealing that, but Rumble got it. And once, so this game's over now.
It's an ace for Zero.
There's nothing that you can do if you got a 44-minute 500 stack Smolder that has 4 Dragon Souls. So there's that game. As I normally do, let's watch the analysis for a minute, see what they have to say about it, to see if I have pro-level analysis enough. Usually it's just Jat stating the obvious and Raz stating the obvious.
Because you can just see the stacks coming up. You're like, oh god, we're actually getting to the 500 stack mark. This is the type of game we're having. How do they actually kind of come back into it? And it felt like they had to find some sort of play. But even when Smolder was topside, they was just getting covered by canyon. So I was like, yeah, I don't know about this one, way
Frustrating.
bros.
Is this Gen.G though? Like, is this really going to
As
be
Shox
Gen.G at
drinks
Worlds?
her Red
Am I
Bull.
wrong?
This is maybe their.
Sip on that.
Let's try this. Right?
I hope
Kids,
so.
if you drink
I
Red
hope this is
Bull,
like
a little bit of it goes a
We're-
very,
don't
very,
wanna give
very
away
long way.
anything.
Yeah.
We got our new picks for
I
later
think it's
rounds,
even
just
some of the
whoever really
problems of
matters most.
LCS players that
I'm
they're too
actually not.
overhyped with Red Bulls.
Because
Like
that
Captain
was
Flowers acts like he
tense.
drinks about 10 Red Bulls before he casts.
What
There's
do
a lot
we
of
always say?
anticipation in that game.
What do we always say about the LCK? They might not come in the sharpest with
True.
the best meta reads, but the later you get in the tournament,
Yeah, the
they rank up.
LCK
That's when you just
grinded
gotta
out
win it,
scrims,
I mean, true.
and they
at the same
progressively
time,
get
you
better.
s-
Like T1, that's
think
what
about
I
how
said
much
on
better
my
this would've been.
content,
Like, they
that
would've
T1
really
will
got
be
the
good,
pressure
and
to go with the
they'll
other
probably
guys.
be at
Yeah,
the
right.
finals
Yeah,
or
that
one
case
of the
is better.
final
I really don't
four,
like the meta read. I
because
understand why you're gonna play what you're
there's no
comfortable with
point
in the
of
first
trying
game,
hard
but
through the
I think
play-ins
as, like,
or
and
the
WBG and
the
HLE,
playoff
the three
stage of the
turntables.
LCK,
And
the
that did not
final,
look like a type of
to get the
performance
final
that's gonna win
spot.
Worlds. I
There
know
was
that's a
just no
high bar,
point
they
of
did
that.
win, and we should
It's
be
a long way
celebrating them
off.
for
Or
sure.
even probably
That was
worrying
it.
about
I wanna
getting
see a little
the
bit higher.
Let's see
winning
if,
finals,
Keen is asking
because
about
as
that.
long as you get a
Congrats.
spot there, they have so much synergy together that they know that it's a long grind just to get through Worlds and all your scrims, that you get your sharpest then. You don't want to waste all that energy,
I don't quite understand what is the meta
especially
right now,
when you're
because
older
neither of you
players.
guys had hard engage. It felt like the game was really difficult to close out. What is your take on the meta right now and this game overall?
So I like
지금
Keen, and I'm
메타에
just
대한
listening
해석이
to what
굉장히
he says.
궁금한데요. 이번 경기 정말 난전이었습니다. 그리고 양 팀 모두 조금 한타를 강제할 수 있는 픽이 없어서 두 팀 모두 게임을
think my
마무리하는데
dog's
조금
gonna go out.
안색을 표하는 것 같았는데요.
We're just
지금 젠지의 메타 해석은
We're just
어떤가요?
about done with this.
아무래도 첫 경기다 보니까 좀 이제 상대가 뭘 할지 몰라가지고 좀 저희가 이제 생각했을 때 좀 좋은 챔피언들 위주로 일단 뽑아보자고 했고, 일단 메타를 좀 더 알아가는 식으로 일단 경기를 좀 더 임했던 것 같습니다.
Because it's the first day, so we are also unsure what
I'm just listening to what
champions,
Keen has to say.
strategy the opponents are
I
gonna
like
bring, so
Keen.
we
I'm
wanted
really
to focus
happy
on the
that he's
things
on
that we are
Gen.G. I've
thinking
seen
that's
him
really good.
stay
Also, I
on
think
pretty
we're still
bad
in the
teams
stage
for
of kind of
years
weeding
and
out the
help
meta.
keep them
First day,
in
absolutely
winning
understandable. But in
contention.
that
And
sense, let's talk
like a
about
freak of
Rumble,
freaks,
because
he
the
was
expectation was
the
Rumble was not gonna be
franchise
so big
player
for
on
them
that
here at
team
Worlds.
for years,
It was
keeping
big
them in the
through the playing
LCK.
stage. You played
I
it
think
today
he's
and
been
had
the
a lot
best
of
top
impact.
laner
How
for
would you rate
years.
the champion right now?
럼블에 대한 의견이
I think Dorn
궁금한데
has
사실
higher
많은
ceiling
분들이
than
럼블이 이제
Keen,
더 이상
but
나오지
he's
못할 것이다
Keen is
얘기를
more
했지만
consistent.
플레이 스테이지
I mean,
나왔었고
Keen's
오늘도
played
럼블
stuff like
플레이를
Tristana
보여줬는데
top for
럼블에
years
대한
and
평가는
Rise.
어떠신가요?
I think there was a time where they played Nocturne top.
이제 라인전이 이제 약해진 건 맞는데 나중에 템이 뜨면 뜰수록 뭐 데미지는 그 전이랑 좀 비슷한 것 같아서 조합에 맞춰서 쓰면 언제든지 꺼낼 수 있는 카드인 것 같습니다.
For
This
sure,
dog
his
just
early game
annoys
phase
me.
is
Like I
weaker,
said, it's like
he's
having a
early phase
15-year-old
damage
baby.
with the
After
burst is a
probably
little
like
effective.
6
The laning phase
months,
is not as
babies get
strong,
really
but also I
annoying
still think that as he picks
because
up
they
more
just
items,
whine and
this
cry
is
all
almost
the
the same
time,
as
and
the
then you gotta
old
change them
Rumble,
and
so
wipe them and
looking at
care
the
for
clock,
them
I
all the
think Rumble is
time, and
right,
they
you
don't
can go
really
for
do
it.
you any good.
We could see more
Except
events,
babies
well,
someday will
last
you'll
question
get
for you.
old and
You're
not be
one
able to
of the
take care of
tournament
yourself, and
favorites,
hopefully they'll
but I
be an
wanna know
adult
about
and be
the
able to take care
synergy
of you. But a
because
dog
how
is
has
going
Lehen
to
been
die
treated
and not be
recently?
there for you.
이제 강력한 우승 후보로 꼽히는 젠지인데요. 우승하려면 또
Like,
팀
it would be
시너지
nice if my
굉장히
15-year-old could
중요하잖아요.
drive
리엔즈
me, but
선수랑
he
사이가
can't.
좀 괜찮으신가요?
He's just a
리엔즈
baby.
선수가 가끔 장난기가 좀 심할 때가 있지만 그거를 이제 팀원들이 잘 보듬어주기 때문에 뭐 팀케미는
And it
좋은 것
keeps you
같습니다.
from working and
We
having
all
a
know
job like
Lehan's
this,
is
and
always
anytime you
picking on
need to
me, but
go
the rest of the
anywhere.
players are doing a great job taking care of me, so the team synergy is safe.
That's amazing to hear. Thank you so much, Keen, for the interview. Jisoo.
All right,
Thank
so
you
that's
so
it
much
for the
translation. We're gonna
Gen.G WBG game. I want to thank you for tuning in. Here's my little. Please, if you like my content, or even if you don't like my content, you can even hate me for all I care. I don't like the word hate, so dislike me. Just follow me. You can dislike me and follow me and leave negative comments. I don't care, as long as just follow me on twitch.tv/Sodaron. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Sodaron, and follow me on x.com/Sodaron official. Again, you don't have to like me or my content. You can even dislike it, but as long as you follow me and subscribe to my YouTube, I don't care. I just need you to go hit a couple buttons. I don't ask for money. Whatever. I like your feedback. Leave me feedback. If you like this little card I give you, I'll start leaving it in the comments. section, or I'll leave it up in the description and you can download it. And the point of it is to get an index card and print it out. I may even make a newer one on Google Sheets, and you'll have a digital version, but or leave it up on your second monitor. But that's it for today, and I will see you next time. So thank you for tuning in to the Next Level with Sodaron, and I hope you have a very good time in solo queue, and I hope you win very many games, and I hope that Sodaron, the Wizard of LOL Esports, can help you achieve the next level. See you next time.
Everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster. Just give me one more try. Suffocation. Everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster. Just give me one more try. Everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster. Just give me one more try. Suffocation. Everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster. Just give me one more try. Suffocation. Everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster. Just give me one more try. Suffocation. Everything I see is mine. I think we're gonna hit disaster. Just give me one more try.